Hi everyone, it's Maria, and today I'm going to be reviewing a book kind of quickly because of the announcement that's following it. So that said, also I do have a nose piercing. It just happened on Tuesday. I think I like it. So it's been kind of a transformational year as far as life in general. And I wanted to do something to mark it, and I'd been thinking about this for probably over a decade. So my mom says she still loves me, and that's what I care about. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. All right, we'll jump right in with the book that I'm going to talk about. This book is Shalom Sistas, Living Wholeheartedly in a Broken-Hearted World. This is by Osheta Moore, and I am on the launch team for this book. It actually released on October 3rd. This copy, though, I purchased. I read it months ago online, loved it, made huge pages and pages of notes, definitely wanted to purchase a book for myself so I could loan it out, and I'm really excited about this book. First, let me tell you how I came to it. I've been listening to Osheta's podcast, Shalom in the City is what it used to be called. Now it's changed to Shalom Sistas, for about a year. I know it's been about a year because I know they've been around at least since before the election. It's sad that I'm starting to kind of mark life events by before and after the election, but that's where my headspace is. So I started listening to them before that. Osheta on her podcast has several co-hosts as well, and they've had guests on to talk about different matters of shalom. And shalom, if you don't know what that word refers to, it just means kind of wholehearted peace. Not the absence of violence, not the absence of war, but just that feeling that everybody is whole. Not just personally, but communally. And for me, that's a huge part of my faith tradition, is working towards having shalom on earth for everyone, not just for me, not for my family, although that's part of it. And shalom definitely begins in the home, but for everyone. So I've been really excited to listen to her podcast. And so when she said she was writing a book, I jumped at the opportunity to jump on the bandwagon to get a hold of it sooner rather than later, because I knew it was going to be something I wanted. At the end of the podcast and at the end of every single chapter, she has shalom steps that refer back to different things you can do practically to work towards shalom in your life. And these are just beautiful steps. Some of them are very simple, some of them are more challenging. She's not all about guilt or telling people they have to do certain things. She shares her own experiences, her own struggles, and from that, I was able to really look at what I struggle with personally. Reading it, I don't know how she wrote it, because it feels so raw and so honest and beautifully vulnerable. Osheta is a Black woman. She is married to a white pastor, and she is by two biracial children. That colors her experience. Obviously, her life is different from mine in that she was evacuated from Hurricane Katrina and has that life experience under her belt as well. So that in itself was interesting to read about, considering all the natural disasters that happened this year. So alongside of that, she talks about being from a family where she was part of the second family, and kind of the vulnerabilities that come with that. She talks about her own insecurities. She talks about how race plays into her experience as a person in the church. And there's just so many facets of life that were brought up so well in this book. I wouldn't do it justice to just do it in a quick video, which is why I'm coming to this announcement. In November and December, I have started a book club, Goodreads group called Bookish Shalom. And in November, we'll do the first half. In December, we'll do the second half. And if that's all you want to do, that's fine. If you want to join in as you can, that's okay. It is a private group, so any comments that you will say in that group will stay in that group. You have to be approved. And I think there's just a question on there as to why you want to join. It's open to anybody, regardless of if you're Christian or not Christian, or Black or white or old or young. As long as you are kind, kindness is our rule. So that's kind of the bare minimum. Hopefully you can reach that. If not, I don't really know why you're watching my channel, but hopefully kindness is something that's already a practice in your life. So we're going to be discussing this book in November, December, and talking about how we reacted to it, what sorts of things it brought up in our own lives, as well as different books or other things, resources that it reminded us of. On BookTube, books are our language. Books are our currency of how we talk about life. A lot of times I find myself referring back to a certain character or a certain part of a book to explain something about my own life. And I think that is a big strength. And so in this book, hopefully we will use it to kind of use the stories to kindle up other references and other books to grow as people. So that's kind of where we're starting. If this goes well, hopefully it will. If this goes well, I would love to continue doing more books like this on there, whether they're talking about Undivided was a great book I read this year about a Muslim daughter and a Christian mother and trying to figure out where they can come together. There's so many great books that can be discussed on theirs. And you know how I feel about social justice and activism and love. And I'm just really excited about doing this. There's so many great book clubs on YouTube to be a part of, so many on Goodreads to be a part of. But for me, I hadn't really latched onto something that I could always read about and be excited about. This is something that's important to me. We will hopefully not be reading too long of books because I know we all have TBRs that are forever long. But if you are interested in social justice or just in shalom in general in your life, whether you're a Christian or not, whether you've read a book like this or not before, I would encourage you to jump on and participate. I know that there's no criteria for how much you participate in a Goodreads group, and I'm going to be consistent. This is a big goal and priority for me, so I will be consistent on the Goodreads group. So that is all. I will link down below the book trailer that Osheta put out for Shalom Sistas, so you can kind of see that. While it does say sistas in it, I think there's a lot of great information for anybody to latch onto. Also, I will put a link to her podcast down below as well, because it is one of my favorite podcasts. I always feel challenged, but also encouraged when I listen. So I recently did a very huge clean through of all my podcasts, and that one definitely made the cut. So anyway, if you have any questions down below, something you're interested in, let me know, and I will also, of course, link the Goodreads group. So I will talk to you all later. Have a great day. Bye.